Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Dolphins Dive Bar. I am your host, Tony Two Times, aka Chicky, aka Sad Boy. Welcome to the in memoriam edition of the program. The Dolphins playoff hopes, even though it'll still say in the hunt, like it's their playoff hopes are over. The Dolphins lose today to the Houston Texans by a final score of 20-12. Miami, you know, they're those guys, right? There's no such thing as killing narratives with this team. There's only reinforcing them. Um, Miami just shits the bed just completely. I mean, just such like man, how could such ugly football be played? By professionals. But our drink today is it's just what uh, Russian vodka, some soda water, and some lemon in there to garnish. I want to be simple. Dolphin defense, they deserve so much credit, man. I feel so bad for those guys because they tried so freaking hard to go out there and win the game. I mean, you hold them to 20 points and you hold their offense to 181 yards. Like 77 on the ground and what? And like 104 through the air? Like they couldn't do nothing. The only time the defense looked bad was like when Jordan Poyer was like, looking in the end zone while Nico Collins is running around behind him and he's freaking looking everywhere except for where the receiver is and they get a touchdown. Like, other than that, like Zach Sealer and Chop Robinson, you can't have better games than those guys. I mean, the pressure on that line, with those two and then Brooks, I'd say. I mean, at least you know that your D line and part of your linebacking core has a decent future ahead of it. Cater Kohu, good guy's good enough, but those guys, I mean, they played their asses off. That defensive unit played their asses off. They made Stroud look pedestrian a lot of times. The team couldn't get the run game going that well. They couldn't get passing game going. I mean, Miami was getting, not forcing fumbles because the fumble actually came because Stroud wasn't looking at it and he wasn't ready, and the center puts it in his chest. Um, and Miami's able to recover. I don't even remember if they did anything with it, but yeah, that defense, man, like you are excluded from this rant because you guys, you did everything you could possibly do other than like return one for a touchdown, take it back yourselves because I mean you guys were the ones that had to pretty much do everything that game, right? The offense, I mean, dude, this offense just sucks. I mean, like QB1, he lives like McDaniel said it like in the after the game in the I think in the press conference where he's like, this team we have to have things clicking in order for us to be able to play our style of football. So if the freaking setting is not absolutely perfect, this team just does not execute. And that is terrible because you're a football team. Like not everything's gonna be perfect, You're not gonna have time that you always want to have. You're not gonna have perfect conditions. It's just not. That's not what football is. It's like you have to make the plays in spite of all that. That's what makes the good teams really good, And Miami's just not a good team, man. Just very mediocre. I mean, losing 20-12, falling to 6-8, like getting bounced from that, final wild card spot. No hope. 3 games left on the season. Basically now just put in the young guys and see what you got. Get a little bit more development, man. So the way the game starts off, like that's enough to drive you crazy because it's funny. Miami's first play from scrimmage, right, is a 3-yard loss. Texans' first play from scrimmage is a 15-yard gain, right? Even when Miami's given 3 yards, like they start off the drive with maybe like an encroachment or something, so they start off first and five, and in the next 3 plays they're only able to get 2 yards. Second and 3, third and 3, fourth and 3, punting. I mean, you can't even push them back and get 5 yards on a drive. The running backs were pretty much non-existent today. I mean, Raheem Mostert was back in the game, but he only got a few carries. He goes 6 carries for 8 yards. Jalen Wright, 1 carry, 3 yards. Devon Achane, 12 carries for 41 yards. So 41 plus 8 is 49 plus 3, 52. 52 yards rushing from a professional football team. Passing game wasn't all that was cracked up to be either, right? So Jalen Waddle gets hurt early in the game, so he finishes no catches, no yards. Like, poor guy, he's from that area. He's got his whole freaking family there, family, friends, people that want to see him play, and he winds up busting his knee on a play, and he's taken out. Malik Washington, 5 for 52, and Jonnu, 9 for 48 with the touchdown, with Miami's lone touchdown on a nice pass to the back corner, not necessarily the corner, but at the back of the end zone by an out, but Jonnu had to really extend and reach for it. Makes a good play. That was really it for them, offensively. Tyreek Hill, I mean, I don't know what the hell that was from him today. So he doesn't get a catch until super late in the game, right? His first catch of the game was a third and long where he gets a 21-yard reception, right? But I mean, he had a rough one. I don't know, Tua had 3 picks, right? So Tua goes 29 for 40, buck 96, 1 touchdown, 3 picks, sacked 3 times. Just so pedestrian from him. Him and Hill together today were just awful. I mean, Tua's first pick, I guess the route was ran wrong, where I guess it was supposed to be more shallow, but he was a little too deep on it, and then the freaking guy just undercuts it, and then boom, right there. You just watch it. To me, that was all Tua in that moment, because it's dude, what the hell was that? And you didn't see a safety there. I know you pick a spot and you let it drop, but damn, dude, you don't look at the coverage at all. You don't look where you're throwing the football. The second pick, completely Tua's fault, and just a bad throw. Miami's driving, they're down the same score, 20-12 at that point. You get that touchdown, let's go, we're in business. No, in the red zone, Tua just, tries to throw the out route, and the defensive back just jumped all over it, picks it off. He, was that the one he took it all the way back to yeah, because it was right before the half. So he takes it most of the way back. Thankfully, Devon Achane stuck with it, makes a great freaking tackle, and then they actually only held to a field goal. If they had more time, could have possibly been a touchdown, but hey, it didn't happen that way. So, Achane saved you on that one. And then the last one, I mean, I can't even put that one on Tua either. The ball was in Tyreek Hill's hands. It was in his hands as he's falling back. And then the dude just took it from him. You just let that grown man just take it away from you. And I don't believe that the football was underthrown per se. I think it was a perfect pass, because I think if you would have led him a little bit more, that safety that was over the top coming over. If you would lead Tyreek a little bit more, I mean, maybe the guy breaks it up, or maybe Tyreek gets the catch and he gets hit in the head and he's concussed and taken out and gets an injury. Like the other gentleman today, God, what's that guy's name? Can't remember his name. DeBose, Grant DeBose. What a tough break for that kid, huh? I mean, Tua just left them out to dry on that play. Just leads them a little, waits too long to throw the ball, leads them a little too much, and as soon as he gets hands on it, I mean, that dude just cracked him right in the head, and that poor guy was knocked out, like, snoring. They had to freaking cut his jersey off, take his face mask off, like everything. They had to do a lot of work on the field to that young man to pack him up, package him up, and then get him out there to a hospital. I haven't heard any updates on him. I hope he's okay. Obviously, I mean it's a game, and it's how he feeds himself and his family, and people depend on him, and you just hate to see a guy get that jacked up. So yeah, prayers up to him. But I mean, Tua, dude, that pass sucked. So just going through some of the plays. So like I said, the Finns start the game with like -3 yards, right? And then the next drive, they're giving the 5 free yards. Can't do nothing with it. Jason Sanders hits a nice 55-yard field goal to get him on the board. It ties the game. But even on that, it was like, holding and a bad third down call on the play. Tua, hit third down. He's hit hard. Fumbles it, and they recover. Poyer looking around while Collins is catching touchdown passes. There's a one play, the Dolphins should have had a 1st and goal, right? It was like a nice catch inside the 10, but no, it gets called back because of a penalty. Maybe it was the Eichenberg penalty. I don't remember. The drive where DuBose gets hit and goes out, like Miami actually has their best drive of the game during that drive. It's when Jono gets a great touchdown catch, and then Jason Sanders misses the extra point. So at that point, it's 20-12. Hey, you're still in it, right? End of the game, like near the last few drives, I mean, it's just enough to drive you insane. Like the defense works their ass off, dude, and gets you the ball back, and then so you get a penalty on Eichenberg, then you get a sack, and then you do like a 4-yard throw on 3rd and forever, and you got a punt. And defense holds strong again, dude. Chop Robinson with the 3rd down sack. I mean, it was like as soon as Stroud got the ball, they did like some kind of a stunt right up the middle, coming in untouched. Chop and Sealer just freaking meet at the quarterback. Beautiful to see. And you're like, yes, oh my God. Like, we got time. We can actually do this. Let's go, Tua. Let's go. The defense works so hard. And what do you get for it? Very next drive, maybe even the first play. Interception. Game-sealing interception. I mean, God, that must have been so dejecting for that defense to look up and be like, dude, what else can we do? What do we have to do, man? So, with that, Dolphins fall to 6-8. What are you gonna do? It's over for them. Tua, like he wants to kill narratives. Like I said earlier, just reinforces them. I mean, like he played. It's unfortunate, but he played the most important game of the season for Miami. He chose. I don't know, he chose to necessarily, but he played like absolute crap. I mean, there's no other way around it. Taking sacks, running the ball, still trying to go head on with people, trying to take hits, prove how tough he is, instead of just sliding, getting a guy practically killed out there, throwing 3 picks. I mean, his accuracy was so off today. Like, and there was no elements. You can't blame any of the elements. You were in a dome. And, I mean, the guy looked like the fucking Army quarterback out there. If you watch that Army-Navy game, just missing guys wide open, high throws, can't find your receivers. I mean, it was like pretty much the same game, except for the Army quarterback can take a hit and run. I mean, to his accuracy, his footwork, his placement, it was just not there. I mean, he had the good pass to John, and that was like really it. And a decent ball to Hill still gets picked off, right? I mean, Miami's like 3-13 versus teams with a winning record under this McDaniel, whatever the fuck this is, era. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, now these guys are just playing for pride because you're playing for pride. You're playing to try to get a winning season because you can go 9-8 if you win the next three. I mean, they just shat the bed. They just choked. They choked. Like, they are who they are. They cannot perform when the moment is too big. They're just so not prepared, man. Like, play calling. Some play calls are pretty nice. Some of the designs are nice, but a lot of the play calling was wishy washy. Execution, and still with the penalties. Offensive line, I gotta even talk about them. Like, dude, Liam Eichenberg had a terrible game. Like, he got dragged today, spun on, holding. Um, he couldn't block anything, and it showed because Tua was getting hit. Yeah, it took 3 sacks. You can't open any holes for a run game. Paul, who was in there for the injured Teron Armstead, he did okay. I mean, I think one time he got away with a freaking egregious hold. It was like guy looked like he was like bear hugging the damn defender, and they threw the flag, but then they picked it up. So I was like, "What? You guys just giving the Dolphins like a mulligan on that one?" Because I mean, that was clear as day a hold, but you know they just can't put all phases together. I mean, special teams, that coach, bro, hit the like hit the bricks, buddy. Put an egg in your shoe and beat it. Like, you're fucking out of here at the end of this season. If McDaniel has any balls, if he has a job, right? Like I said, defense, you held them to 181 yards and you only gave up 20 points. So it's not on you, man. This is just a complete shit show from the offense today. In the biggest game of the season for them, the offense, they just don't show up. They don't execute. They don't know what the hell they're doing. Like, and like, the team has heart. Like, they have grit. I mean, they don't execute well, but like, they have heart. I mean, there was plays like they just don't give up. Like, the defense was like, no, like, we're gonna make stops. We're gonna put the ball back into the hands of our playmakers so they can go down and get this done. So it's like, they don't quit. They don't quit on each other. They don't quit on the coach. Like, they're just not good. And that's the unfortunate reality that we're dealing with here, is they're just not good. When you lose 8 games in a season, you're not good. As I finish this drink, we'll finish this video. Next week, the Dolphins play. Who? I don't know. I'll find out on Sunday. Yeah, once again, this is the Dolphin Dive Bar. Unfortunately, Dolphins lose by a final score of 20-12 at Houston in a very winnable game. Game that they should have been a little bit more competitive in, but offense craps the bed and the Finns can't do nothing. So we wear black because we're in mourning. We're mourning for our team. We're in mourning for the season. Another year added to our playoff winning drought. I mean, it's what, 23, 24 years or something now? Hey, but who's counting? Anyway, thanks for joining me on this one. I'll catch you guys some other time.